and innovative influencers of our time. We're really happy to welcome back Jeroen De Wit today to the show. If you caught our last conversation, you'll remember we touched on some fascinating topics like quantum healing hypnosis, what it means to access your higher self, and stories of soul remembrance. There was still so much to explore. So, hello and welcome to Astro Mingle, the spiritual podcast. Sorry, we're having a little feedback here. Sorry. Hold on, folks. Okay. We had a little back thing. This has been going on all day long with our technology. If you caught our last conversation, you remember we touched on some fascinating topics like quantum healing hypnosis, what it means to access your higher self, and stories of soul remembrance. Well, there's still a lot to explore. And so today we're going to do a little deeper into those ideas. So I would say without further ado, one more thing too. We're actually going to be talking and sharing about his new work as an abduction therapist, supporting people through a unique experience of contact and alien encounters. I actually can't wait about this one. I can't believe I skipped over it. So please welcome back Step 21 Gemini, Jeroen De Wit. Hello, Jeroen.
Hey, Christopher. Good to see you again.
I wish I was a Gemini. That's right. It's good to see you, buddy. But you were just all over the map. What's that? I'm a Taurus.
Oh, Taurus I'm not Taurus.
I love Geminis too. My son's a Gemini, and they're just like your buds. I think when you have signs next to each other, like Gemini, Taurus, you're just natural friends. Yeah. They're just natural friends. Those signs, they are. I always get along with Geminis. We talk till the dawn. Till dawn. You know what I mean? Yeah, you guys can squeeze every fire neuron out of my head too. My son will just keep me up forever. But it sounds like you're exploring. Jupiter was in Gemini last year, and I don't know if I told you, like, you're going to expand. Things are going to expand, and it sounds like you have. You're expanding new territories, or were you always in this territory? I guess we should start maybe with what we covered. What personal or professional insights on quantum healing hypnosis have surprised you in this last year?
It's just forever a deepening. It's not really a surprise, but I just noticed forever a deepening in more of my sort of cosmic identity, and this is an identity I think everyone has. It's just age within this profession and get all these amazing stories through my clients every day. Over time, my attachment to my identity or how I feel about myself has become more sort of galactic rather than fitting the narrow confines of the construct that we were handed here, at birth, being alive on this planet. So as I come to find out through my work over and over is that we're all eternal travelers. I think back at my life, I was very much identified with this current lifetime right now and who I was and my body and stuff. And now I just really feel like I'm an eternal being that is here to do certain things and to experience certain things and expand certain things. And so that's released a lot of fear. And I think I touched on this last time, but yeah, it's ever sort of expanding. Like right now, I even feel like my reality is more like sort of a hologram. Like before, but it was more sort of a solid reality that I had to adapt to. And I now feel like I have some kind of influence, like, manifestation, or I really feel that whatever I experience is a reflection of my path as a soul on the planet. So that means that everything that happens is kind of a reflection of what the experience is on the inside. Does that make sense?
I had the same epiphany this year.
That's amazing.
The same exact one. I swear to God, everyone here at work is tired of hearing me talking about it, but I'm going to say it anyways. Yeah, I came to a realization like this really is a simulation. This really is just a game. It doesn't mean anything. It's really, it's very real. It's the most, so for those of you like waiting for Xbox, like shut up. This is it. Like you're in it, it was a realization of knowing. And I had the same thing too. I had a reading with Mary Magdalene, Jesus's partner. And she was just telling me things about my galactic past. And I just went in this weird trance. I was like, oh my God, realizing I'm much bigger than I thought I was. And I'm much older than I thought I was. And everything rang so true, which surprised me. Because I had been so in a box just like you. You're saying you were. So, wow, that's crazy. We both had it, brother. And crazy. So that's the awakening. It really is happening. We really are awakening, aren't we?
I agree. I just wanted to make a note with the simulation idea. I believe, this is a simulation, but I hear a lot of people talk about it as if it's sort of like a prison or we're not living our full truth. Like I really want people to understand, like from my perspective, what I learn over and over again is that we are God having this experience. We have chosen to have this experience in this body within this simulation to be able to learn certain things that we can't learn anywhere else or experience certain things that we can't experience anywhere else. So it's not kind of like a big puppet master that's doing this to us. It's really like a chosen experience for us to learn and to expand.
Totally. Imagine if you're like an idiot and you're in the army and they're like, okay, we want you to put these goggles on. You're going to be gone for about 30 years, but when you come back, you're going to be smart finally. You know what I mean? Or something like that's what it is. It's like, it's literally, but I think it's more important than that. But I also think it's the pain, the worry, the stuff, the karma, the stuff that we let ourselves hurt ourselves over, we anguish over. That's where I'm just like, doesn't exist. As soon as we come out of this, we're going to be fine.
Yes.
Nothing's going to hurt us. Nothing can hurt us. And we never die. It's just a real interesting thing. So have you been seeing these patterns in clients as well of awakening? Like, where are your clients with awakening? What are you witnessing with them?
Yeah, this is also continuing. Like, I mean, I've been doing this work now for 19 years, and there's such an uptick in the kind of walks of life that I'm encountering. Like in the beginning, it was just me and the other hippies that were going through this. But now it's like everybody and their moms and their dogs, and just, I mean, not dogs, but this every year, people that have been stuck in sort of survival-based careers, like, I don't know, like lawyers, I don't know what, but just trying to survive, and now coming to terms with that they're here to live their joy, and that's where their purpose is, and that's the awakening going on. Because as far as I know, the awakening is about dropping from this survival-based, mind-based existence into a heart-based, body-based existence.
Yeah, I mean, I feel almost the astrology looks like it says. I mean, right now Neptune's at 0 degrees and Chiron's at 25, and what that means is you've got like two major planets like holding this brackets in Aries. And I swear to Goddess, I think it's that we're upgrading our egos. And my theory is that the ego was fight or flight, and now it is thrival. And I feel like I think the new ego, which is a biological thing. I mean, the ego is tied to the body, from what I understand. Ego memories don't follow you into the next life, from what I understand. Oh, geez, we just lost him. There goes the ego. He actually closed his eyes, looked like, and he left. See, he's hanging out with those galactic people. I swear to Goddess. Oh, here he is. He's back. Well, you're quite the magician. Okay.
I don't know.
That was so interesting. Oh, was that us? So I didn't know what I was saying, but I don't remember what I was saying now.
You're talking about the ego being upgraded.
Thank you. So the astrology looks like we're upgrading an ego, and the last time we upgraded an ego, by the way, was the Civil War in the United States. That was the last time we would have had similar kind of event. So I think about that too. It's like, man, we actually in that Civil War, it pretty much became like, hey, it's not cool to lock another man into slavery or a woman in slavery. Like, that's a huge ego. Like, who the hell do you think you are? So now we're here upon another one. And I think you're right. You're exactly right. Like, it's not about staying alive because you're not really ever going to die. It's about thriving, doing your best, being your best, right? Living your best. Yeah. So how do you distinguish? I'm curious, as one mystic to another. How do you, when the information comes in through you, because people ask me this all the time, so I'm trying to help them. How do you distinguish your higher self from like a guide, from like an angel? How do you tell the different voices inside of you? I mean, how do you?
I mean, for me, it's a feeling. It's the feeling that goes with it. If there's like fear on it, or like worry, or like caution, then I typically know it's my ego. Like the old parts of me, or the defense mechanisms. Check in and ask something. It's really reassuring, and there is no such thing as warnings. It's just like, this is like, it shows me like the broader scope of something. I've been going through lots of sort of external changes in the last couple of months. And
yes, the body.
What?
Yeah, no, I said, I'm sorry. We're having a weird, like, are we getting that backstage too, like the robot sound? Let me just ask you. Yeah, some crackling. I'm not sure why his mic's cracking. Yeah, mic's cracking a little bit. Is your mic on your body, or is it in your on your phone? Your mic.
It's on my phone.
Microphone's on your phone? Yeah, we're doing the weirdest thing. I swear to God, the aliens are coming in. They want to say hi to us right now. Well, you can exit and come back real quick, and that might reset it real quick, and we'll just hang out with you, and I'll talk to myself and show people my schizophrenia. That'll work.
Yeah, you can come back.
Yeah, it's really weird when you hear the recording. It's just weird. Our audience is probably hearing it too. Weird.
I'll leave you back.
Yeah, I would just like come in and come out and see if it's reestablished a connection. We've had a lot of weird stuff like this. We'll talk about it when you get back. Actually, this stuff that's going on, we've been having it everywhere at Serious Joy. I mean, the weirdest little tech things like this. I can't give examples, but it just seems like something's interfering. I was just outside talking to neighbors, and the internet in the whole town, the internet in Palm Springs has been weird. We've had bad. It could be me actually is a problem. No, actually, it's from him. Yeah, I'm on my right. So, anyways, let's. Are you there?
I'm here. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, we're a little sync issue, but it worked. Okay, great. God, what were we talking about? So, higher self, or higher self.
Uh,
So, I I have this theory that I've been praying to my higher self, not really God. That was one of my new things this year too. Like, I think I'm praying to myself because it just feels so familiar, And when I reach up there, not that God doesn't exist or anything, I'm sure, but I'm sure she's too busy,
mm.
whatever. But I almost feel like we have half of us up there, just kind of like trying to connect to the lower side of us down here, and then when we pray and we pray, please help me, I feel like we're calling to ourself.
Mm.
Do you feel anything like that? And the question was, how does your higher self feel different than an angel, for instance?
My higher self really, to me, it feels really like the core of who I am. So it's less
Mm,
outside of myself. Um, yeah, it feels like my origin or my source as an
mm,
angel is really, as humans, we experience our environment through like shape and form, and there's this separation or perceived separation. And so my internal role is kind of similar, that when there's an angel, another being, it's really something that's outside of myself that doesn't feel like me. But then
mm.
when I talk to my higher self, that is really like so close to me. It's my essence.
Yeah. I mean, actually, the way you put it there is so simple and obvious. Yeah, I guess that's what it is. You can just feel that it's you.
Yeah.
Um, which kind of feels like when you're feeling your brother, like a brother or a very close relative, kind of similar. It's like it feels very close to who you are. Um,
Mm.
we hear a rumor here that you've changed your views about what in between lives are, the state after more sessions. So, the in between live state, basically. You had an opinion last show. Now you have a new opinion. We're curious about it. That's what our writers tell us.
Wait, did you say I changed my opinion about it?
What has changed about your views? I mean, like about in between
Oh,
lives. Like you
I
recently
don't
had a
think
shift. I'm sorry, I said that up incorrectly.
so. I don't think it's changed that much. It's just, it's. I mean, if anything, it just shows over and over that it's a very similar place. Like through all my thousands of different clients, people more or less describe the same attributes and characteristics and the same kind of journey that people go through after you die. I
Mm,
must have told you this or said before that dying in itself, the act of leaving the body, is very easy, very simple. Just my session today, I asked like, what is it like to no longer be in that body? And immediately there's this big sigh of relief. And then it's like, oh my God, I feel so relieved. And when I asked
yeah.
about it, it's like, yeah, my body was very dense. And, it's not really who I am. I was just there for a while. And then they're usually in a space of light, or
Mm,
if the life was very hard, there might be a dark space, or they might actually be in space.
mm,
Um, because there's first a time of like sort of recombobulation. If the life was hard, to just be by themselves, to kind of heal from the experiences, to shed the emotional layers, um, and to know that you're consciousness again. And then they move into the light, or there might be loved ones from the current lifetime or the last lifetime or any lifetime, people that you recognize, but or who you're close to, but you don't really know who they are, or angels and guides might be there to kind of welcome you. And then you can choose to come back to Earth. There's a choice. A lot of
mm.
people choose to come back, or if you wanted to learn something, there seem to be like schools or classes where you can go where
Yep.
souls have sort of an expertise in like, I don't know, compassion or violence or like whatever it is that you want to learn. You can go learn it, and then there is a getting together with other souls of your soul family, and you sort of plan out the next move to see what kind of life you're going back into and who wants to come and how you can learn from each other's roles taking place. So what that means is that the people that we have sort of intense interactions with in this life, this is all planned. This is the other souls of your soul family coming in to either be like a way shower or support for you, or that asshole that's really going to help you to finally love yourself and have some boundaries.
Everything you just said, I can 100%. All my research says the exact same thing. The exact same thing. We literally go to like when you're in elementary school and you all sit around the table and you talked about the book. Apparently, we just all have roundtable discussions about people's lives. We watch different scenes. I'm like, oh God, there's some scenes I don't want people to see, but and you know what I mean. Like I'm like, oh, this one's rated X, but like and apparently, people they share. And then yes, when you need like someone to be an ass to you, like a real bad person, quite often you get like your best friend to play that role. So like the people you end up like hating you on the earth often were like your best friend, because you're like, I need to do this thing on earth, and so would you do it for me? Because I know you won't be too mean. Like it's literally sometimes a favor to come down and be an
Yeah.
asshole to you for a whole lifetime. It's just to play the role, because you're going to be convinced. What would you do in that experiment if your soul didn't know this, knew that? And that's fascinating, man. Now, you know what? Interesting. I'll just bring this up. Mary Magdalene at our conference, Unite the Light, she came in and she's channeling for us. And she said that Yeshua's actual mission was that at the time when people died, they were getting lost in the dark. They would get lost in the dark. They couldn't find the light. And so his
Oh,
whole mission, because the Egyptians had this whole ritual. So when you died, you had this belief dying. And so because I guess heaven will just manifest instantly. So if you believe you're going to hell, you just manifest hell real quick. And
yeah.
if you don't know what to believe, you just manifest nothingness. And so souls are getting lost. They couldn't reunite with their family. Angels are like, putting out search parties. And apparently, so there's like, Yeshua, go down there and tell them this is what happened. So it's so basic and simple what the mission was. You know what I mean? Like, it was easy to believe. I was like, wow, it's fascinating to me. But are there any like newer, like, so I don't know about you, but we're finding our practitioners at Serious Joy, and all of us who are in this field we have new modalities, new techniques coming out. Like we have new talents, I guess what you could say. Have you found yourself your own talent merging into a new technique or a super technique, or even with quantum healing since the last time we talked?
Not so much. I just find like my own knowing just becomes clearer. I'm writing a
Mm,
book about my journey and the knowing that's coming forth to try
mm,
and be of service to a larger sort of group of people. But
yeah.
I haven't learned any other, like, I mean, I've learned like another technique to help a specific sort of demographic or a population. But I haven't,
Mm.
like, I mean, I already did energy healing, um, Akashic Records. It's been kind of like just, I mean, it's only been a few months since I last saw you. You know, it's not like I,
Stop it,
I
Joe.
can move,
You're
I
really
can
on
move up.
fancy.
I'm not
Yeah.
there yet.
Well,
Or levitate.
that's put you on pressure. Well, we've been doing a lot of accelerated growth. Like for myself, there's been some new chapters. Well, I started putting into a formal class all the stuff I know so far about step astrology, what I have downloaded. And as I was putting it down, new stuff's just coming in. I was blown away. Like, oh, there's another floor to this, and it's interesting how I was managed that way. They didn't give me the next, until I formalized it, they didn't give me the next chapters. So I have a personal interest in this, type of thing. But we're also seeing like the merger of modalities, how they connect now. Tarot and numerology. We're just trying to see how it all comes together. It's almost like the
Wow,
Tower of Babel is being rebuilt. It's an interesting moment for us. Um,
that's beautiful.
do you have any? So you have this new spectrum of looking at past lives. What is your, first of all, what is your view about past lives in past life regressions? Is it are we supposed to remember these over time, or are we not ready to remember them, and how relevant are they?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, so I mean, past lives from the soul's perspective are just all parallel lives, or they happen congruently, since there is no
Mm,
time construct that we use here in the 3D to be able to learn the things that we came here to learn. And
mm,
so going into past lives, it's less about sort of past life tourism where you find out or, what your soul's been up to, but it's more
mm.
of a recovering of your galactic identity. So,
Ah,
I mean, for myself, like I've had sort of certain views on life from the time that I was born. Like
mm,
I've always known that life is more consciousness based versus carbon based. And
mm,
I knew that there was life on different levels. I just never saw it sort of reflected back to me. Having my own regressions done, I would go into alien lifetimes or human lifetimes or, with different
mm,
personalities. And so it brought to light these different aspects of me that I'm channeling in this lifetime for a specific purpose. And
mm,
so that's why I think it's really helpful for people to do a past life regression with an integration so they can, it's kind of like a soul, what is that? Soul retrieval? That's the word. Yeah.
mm,
Like a
mm,
soul
mm.
retrieval, or not like it's not there, but like an acknowledgement of the sort of fuzzy parts of yourself or these like unclear parts of yourself, like
Yeah.
people with interests or phobias or
Oh yeah.
views on life, and to know where they came from and that they are truly you and that you're calling them into this lifetime to be able to do your life purpose in this lifetime is very empowering because it usually takes us beyond the confines of the limited construct of what it means to be a human that we've been given, during when we were being raised.
Yeah, totally. I mean, the idea. Well, yeah, the idea that there's life before Earth. You know, that the Earth is just the latest rock you've ridden. And I've always had certain affinities to certain stars. It turns out, that's where I'm from. So it's a really compelling kind of thing there. And I have to say, I don't know how you feel this, but as soon as you start to accept and receive, like, yes, that feels correct, then just for me, the knowledge just keeps expanding. It's
Yes.
almost like I have to relax into the memory or something, and just starts to unfold. And I've had a lot of
Yeah.
weird, memories. I have a memory of looking at the Earth from space and going, I'm going there," like a tourism, weird stuff
Yes.
like that. You can't make up, Yeah, really interesting. Well,
Absolutely.
do you want to share like any? So where are you from, man? Like, where have you hung out in the galaxy? Do you know you want to do some name drops of planets?
So the lineage that I've uncovered so far is Pleiadian and Syrian. And
Those are the top two, man. Top two.
oh really?
Oh,
Yeah.
I think so. I mean, as far as interest in Earth, I keep hearing, it seems that the Palladians and the Syrians, I mean, yes, have had huge interest in Earth from the very beginning.
Yes. Yeah.
From what I
For
hear,
a long
yeah.
time. Yeah. And it kind of lines up with my generation. I was born in 1971, and I find that a lot of my clients that come in that are from my generation, a lot of Pleiadian like energy with them. The newer generation seems to be more Andromedan and Nectarian, and then other races that we have no names for.
Mhm.
Alpha Centauri. I mean, that's kind of known, but yeah. But
Yeah.
there seems to be like a generational like shift. Like our people were more like
Yeah.
Pleiadian, and one's more Andromedan and Arcturian.
I think it has to do with where Sirius is. Seriously. I mean, where the star is, the fixed star is on Earth. But yeah, my company is Sirius Joy. Sirius was the last place I was at. But
I was
Pleiades I
wondering about
like.
that.
Yeah. Was that?
I was wondering about that name because of that
Yes,
reason.
totally.
Yeah.
Actually, when I channeled the name, and then I was like, why does this feel so like resonant? And then what happened was I was on the phone call with this woman that like lived in Europe and watched my show. So it was like a fan. And she goes, "You don't remember me?" And I go, "No, who are you?" She goes, "I'm your wife from Sirius." And I was like, "Ah!" I started crying. I was like, "Ah!" Like
Oh
it was like
wow.
emotion took over, and I was like, "Oh my god, it's true." And then I just realized, I'm getting goosebumps telling you the story right now. So it's like, oh wow, this is trippy. And she for some reason just had memory of it. So I was like,
I
good for
love
you.
that.
Thanks for yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. The Pleiades, I always like the women in Pleiades, but we just don't get along real well. I mean, they just don't like me. But Pleiades is really like big eyes, beautiful energy, and they don't always incarnate anymore. I hear they kind of stay only in the astral. They're kind of like where
Oh.
Earth is going in 5D. Like they don't create bodies very very often anymore. And
Hmm.
from what I heard, when Syrians came to the Earth, this is gossip. This is astral gossip.
Astro
Um,
gossip.
Astro gossip, yeah. That apparently when Sirius came to Earth, they had just gone through their dark. They had just gone through what we're about to go through. They just purged all their darkness. They just come to the light. They just for the first time come into the light, and they're like extra help with the Earth. And really, they gave us too much information at once. So the reason why aliens don't interfere is because they fucked up with Atlantis.
Oh.
It's like it was a learning thing. I had not known that. It's like, oh, so it wasn't always that they gave Atlantis all the tools, all the technology, and then Atlantis blew itself up. So they're like, oh, maybe we shouldn't do that. But it's fascinating. And I have a memory of, I'll say it on the air. It just came to me, where I came down, I got off the ship, and I looked at the Earth, and I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna incarnate here. I'm coming here. Like my soul's like, I'm doing this. I'm doing this. I'm
Were
gonna
you
do this. I'm gonna
excited?
come here. What's that?
Were you excited?
I was very excited. It was like
Yeah.
the only thing I can the only thing I can relate to is like Disneyland as a kid. The
Hmm.
first time I saw Disneyland as a kid, it was the same thing as when the first time I saw Earth, and I just have a
Yeah.
memory of that. And so my point is, like, as you unpack these memories, and they feel right. I mean, you know when something feels right. So what's really weird is when you have a foreign piece of information, like something really bizarre, and it feels right. And you're like, my
Yes.
body's saying yes. And I
Yeah.
think that's where you kind of acknowledge it. So here's an interesting question too. Have you noticed? No, this is a theme going on. We have Saturn in Pisces and Neptune in Pisces. Have you noticed with your clients that they've been ridding themselves of church programming this year, like religious dogma, like really coming off their shoulders, like really taking their power back?
Um. I mean, it's always been a thing, but not particularly this year. It's more like,
Mm,
I mean, it's more like societal dogma or cultural dogma that has been very unconscious. Like, oh, I was
yeah.
loved by my parents, had a great upbringing. Then we dig a little deeper, and then it turns out mom and dad were not emotionally available, and the message there was that they were not good enough and insecure, and learn to
Mm,
people. that stuff, even though there was no like physical violence being perpetrated. So
Mm.
that's the kind of dogma that's been clearing. I mean, it's been clearing a lot for people in favor of people finding their own authenticity and finding their own qualities that they came in with to express into this life.
Mm. Well, I think because I'm Christopher, I think I maybe just draw on those clients then. I mean, I've had nothing but a line around the corner,
Wow.
or they were, they spoke their truth in the church and they got killed or burned. And then now in this lifetime, they can't forgive themselves. They're not very compassionate to themselves. It's almost like once the church kicked them out, they stop being those things entirely. And so like giving the church the rights to it and them not taking it back. So it's like been a lot of like, you have the right to forgive, you have the right to do all that stuff. They don't have a patent on God or Jesus, it's like, so there's a lot of that. I was curious if you're having the same thing. Have there been any other themes, just like I described, that you've noticed in this particular, since we talked just 5 months ago?
Not really. It's just all been about self-love. I mean, that's really
that's huge, though.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it says over and over again. I mean, it's basically, today as well, like the higher self sharing like what this client needed to do. And it's always boils down to loving ourselves. This is not something that we're taught when we're, born into a baby's body on this planet. It's quite the opposite. We are experiencing, losing connection to self. And then, when people come into my office doing this work with you or with me or with other practitioners, it is about like revaluing or recovering all the parts of you, and that is done through loving yourself. And I mean, the methods of doing so are always the same. It's always about taking time for yourself, either meditation or a beautiful quiet place in nature or your backyard. Tap into joy, do things that feel joyful, connect to nature, because it doesn't demand that you show up as anything but who you already are, just as it does. To forgive yourself and to make yourself and your own needs the first priority. That's basically what it says.
Yeah.
As sort of loving yourself more.
Yeah, well, honestly, I'm not trying to brag or anything, but when I came on the air, in 2006, I never heard love yourself or self-love. Never. I never heard that on talk shows, on Oprah, nothing. Like Oprah and the talk shows and all that stuff, where women went to get therapy. I never heard self-love once. I heard respect yourself, things like that, like Aretha Franklin, but not love. And I was just channeling it. I mean, I thought I was like, oh, that's clever. I'll use that. But right now we have a phenomenon with the planets. We have Uranus, Neptune, and Uranus, Neptune, and Saturn that were in Aries, and they're in Aries and Pluto. Excuse me, at 1 degree. They're all at 1 degree. Now, 1 is the degree of self-love. Number 1 is you. And so, but we did some research. We can't see. We went all before Christ. We've never seen the planets. They've never been all at 1 degree like that. Like they were most of this fall, like really through May through this whole time, all saying love yourself, love yourself, love yourself. So there's a huge commandment from the planets to love yourself, and we couldn't find it. Isn't that fascinating? Yeah, yeah. So it's being told, and you're right. I'm the same. Everyone seems to now understand that. Although I want to add, it's like I find that my clients, or they have trouble loving themselves, is their response to themselves. We all think like, go out, do something nice, get some flowers or whatever. But it's when you hit your hammer, hit the hammer on your thumb, you're like, you motherfucker, you're so stupid. It's actually, I think, in the response that we keep messing it up the most. That's what I've noticed. Is that observation.
Yeah, this is negative self-talk that has been sort of internalized programming that we received. I deal with that quite a bit as well. I always try to address it, how they cannot do this. And the higher self can either clear it out, change their mind around, like move some bits and bobs around, or it tells them to do a certain, I don't know, like a detox or meditation or something else that will help them get past it. But that is definitely a part of it. I'm just really fascinated by what you described astrologically. This is such a unique place that we're in, because what I've been hearing throughout my sessions is that there was going to be this big influx of like cosmic light energy that was going to up our bodies and our energy bodies as well, and that it was going to be easier for people that are already on this path of awakening, but that the people that don't want to, go towards, the light, they just wanted to, experience the density. It was going to be harder for them because a lot of shit was going to be coming to the surface. So I'm wondering if that sort of comes with that astrological
It does. I mean, what we understand to be is, the solar system, this big circle of things swirling around. The solar system itself apparently is swinging, through the centuries, back and forth in front of the galactic center, and apparently there's some sort of like something, some sort of photon, some particle we haven't measured yet that just comes spewing out of the galactic center, apparently. And so, as the solar system moves into this stream, apparently it ignites things that have been dormant and asleep. And so, yet, the Mayan shift in 2012, that was the announcement of, hey, we're heading back into the stream, and so you should start picking up on those galactic radio stations again, right, or whatever.
Wow.
And I have to say, I mean, I feel much better this year by default. When I say
Me too.
better, I mean not in pain, no fear, fearless,
Right.
completely fearless. Like I don't fear anything. I
That's
really
amazing.
don't. I'm not even gonna knock on wood about that. I'm not even gonna knock on wood. I don't need to knock on wood. I don't. And it's like, I can't believe that's gone. Because it was such a part of our life. And I do agree. People who are like always like low and sad and take this, the Eeyore kind of like response. I've found that when the universe cranks up the light, it's just like it's pulling us up, but they're so heavy, and so they just like get stretched. They feel sick. Their body starts to break apart because you're just being pulled apart, literally, by the higher vibration. So I'm with you on that. And yes, the astral plane. Mary Magdalene had said that the biggest conflict with her and Jesus, or Yeshua, was that trying to increase the light body. Like they were really working hard for him to walk out. He instantly rose from them dead. His light body stepped out, which has been documented in over in the with the Sanskrit language, and the yogis in India and those ancients, they also have that wisdom of how to increase the light body. And so apparently when our light body is strong enough, we're all just going to like zip off the flesh suit and go, the flesh suit and go. Apparently that is the next step. Have you seen or heard this, or around the coffee cooler, the water cooler there in heaven?
I mean, yes. I mean, this is the talk about the new Earth and moving into 5D, but it's a bit. I have like not per se like contradicting information, but just like different paths. So,
Okay,
like
right.
one thing is that there is an actual like new planet being prepared, where people that have moved to 5D are going to go, and then the
That's what
other
I
one.
heard too.
Oh
I heard that
wow!
too. Yeah.
And then the other one is that we are creating 5D right now by dropping back into the heart. So that
Mm.
that we're now in the process of. I mean, this is a feeling that I've had as well. I was just like voicing it to somebody. I feel like the last few months, I feel like our reality is sort of polarizing. And I'm not talking about the political divide so much as I am about these two different paths of souls that want to experience density and the ones that want to go to 5D. I feel
Mhm.
like, where it was one big mush before, now just like cell division, like two different like nuclei are forming. We're still connected,
Yes.
but I feel like these different nuclei are becoming more clear as to what their personality or their energy or vibration is. And so I
Mm.
think there is this split happening. And yeah, I mean, whenever I try to get clarity about it, like at some point, apparently we won't be able to even see like the people that are on a different vibration.
That's what I'm
And
hearing.
through like us up leveling by loving ourselves and dropping back into the body, finding compassion within, so without, and showing this to other people, or being sort of beacons for this to other people, and kind of creating a new grid of conscious human beings. This is creating a whole new version of reality, like outdating the old sort of denser harmonics that we've been in for so long. And
Mhm.
yeah, this that we're shifting into a whole new timeline. I mean, there's this talk about timelines, there's infinite possibilities, and then we're always sort of timeline hopping. But that's what seems to be happening, that we're just splitting different routes.
I hear the exact same thing from my gossip. And the new Earth thing was very interesting. I've heard that many times now through different situations, fellow mystics, just things like that. Because I don't hypnotize my audience. I don't hypnotize them. I'm just kidding. But I did the whole thing that we're going to move to another planet that vibrates at a higher level, and that those who want to stay here can. That's what I've heard. Like, you're basically stay here, the old crappy Earth. So, and that also in this new state, we are starting to not see each other. Now, here's something I noticed like about 2 months ago. I was in a situation at a party or something, and I asked about astrology. Everyone knew about astrology. Everyone knew their signs, everything. And I was like, oh, this is weird, because when I started, I was the weirdo. No one knew anything. And I was
Yeah.
like, is my belief structure changing? So like, I believe now I'm just attracting the people who believe too, or have I left the earth? Like, did I leave the naysayers behind? I don't know, but I'm always now surrounded by people who are like me on the same page. I didn't used to be. You
Isn't
know what
that
I mean?
strange?
Yeah, it's like that. What do you call that effect when you go back and they change like the logo of the underoos or whatever? Like, what's that called? The what's it called? The
Oh,
Madonna. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. We did a term for
yeah,
this. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
there's a similar effect going on where like I'm not where I used to be, or it's like I don't know. It's like, did everyone drink the Kool-Aid? I did. It's a
Yes.
weird thing, but you can witness it
Yeah,
and pay attention to it because it's very interesting.
yeah. It's like
You
that
know,
for me as well.
and
Definitely.
I'm not seeing. I used to see. I used to witness a lot of violence, like car crash in front of me, like bar fight, stuff. I was like, God damn, and I'm so sensitive to it. It was just overwhelming. All I see now are like people having sex, being nice, loving each other. Like it's all. I'm not seeing couples fight in stores anymore. I used to see like couples like, you motherfucker. Like I used to see all that stuff. I don't see any of that. I really don't.
Mhm.
It's really
That's amazing.
everyone's happy. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, or or I'm just on another planet. But it's been interesting. It's an observation. I would say everyone at home too. Pay attention. Have you noticed that the world's different? It does feel that way. And I suddenly don't care that people don't care. Like I used to
Mhm.
take it personally. It's like, oh, guys, you're gonna miss the bus. We're going to 5D. Come on. Now it's like,
Yeah.
that's okay. We'll see you later.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. It's like I had this interesting conversation with somebody's higher self, and they were very concerned about this violence and this darkness that is so obvious. When you look outside of your bubble on the planet right now, and so she was asking for guidance on how to deal with it, and so it explained that yes, the darkness seems to be more obvious because we're up leveling and it's coming to the surface to be like gotten rid of. Um, but don't forget that the light is growing bigger too. There's always a balance, and so the higher self said it's whatever you choose to have in your gallery. Like, what do you focus on? So
Mm-hmm.
um,
Mm-hmm.
and so it was really talking about like personal responsibility, and this is different from the personal responsibility within relationships or being a human being, part of larger groups or being on Earth. It's more about your sort of reality hygiene. Like, what are you interacting with? What kind of energies are you digesting?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
To be mindful of that. Yeah, because that's really part of like how we create our, our upgraded hologram. Yeah, that's what it
I
explained.
agreed. I mean, what you put your attention on is what gets the budget. So it's so simple and so obvious. You just can't believe that's how it works. But
Yeah,
it's like I think the old me would be like, I can't look away from the dark. I've got some sort of responsibility to fix it or something. Like, and I think that's the church brainwashing.
yeah,
It's like, yeah, God made you as a child, and you're a sinner. He doesn't, he's mad at you. You've got to prove him right now that your father doesn't like you. Like that whole like something's wrong. I have to go reach out. I have to fix the world. And so I think I was just attracted to that stuff because I thought this obligation to fix it or heal it. But now I'm just like, let's look. This is more fun. And and then I also realized, wait, I'm getting away with this. Nothing bad's happening to me for ignoring this.
yeah,
And that's also like and that's just I think it's a trauma of what we've been through, the lies.
yeah.
Have you witnessed the children? Because the human design people, the raw followers, they say that there's a new version of children coming next year called the raves. I don't know if you heard this. Yeah. They're called
No, I
the
haven't heard.
raves. And I'm like, oh my God, we're all going to be dancing with music. No, apparently not. But these raves are like, they're not dual based. They're five. He says they're five based. And then it's like you and I like could be twin flames or, opposites or whatever. Apparently these are women fives. And,
Oh,
and, and I know, isn't that compelling? And apparently they have to all five have to kind of be around each other. So, he's claiming that like, in elementary school, all the families who had kids there, they don't realize it, but all their kids are part of a five. And it's like a five based reality. I was like, okay, that's really interesting. And apparently,
right.
when they're all together, like different powers turn on, but their powers aren't on if they're not around each other. It's like a really like a hero film. It sounds like a film. It sounds
Wow,
like a comic, but it's
that's
fascinating.
interesting.
Yeah. Apparently, this is like in the raw literature and all this other stuff. And apparently, next year, like they literally
Oh,
arrive on the Earth. Like apparently, they start getting born in Aquarius of next year, Aquarius Pisces, which is February March. Which, when you look at the astrology of February March, something's happening. I mean,
oh my
our
gosh, that reminds me of like Do you know who Chris Bledsoe is?
Mm-mm.
So he's an experiencer, and he's been told that there is this astrological thing happening, and it coincides with like, oh, I think it's some kind of red planet appearing like right in between the pause of the Sphinx or something. I mean, I'm butchering it. I don't know the details of
Yeah,
it,
sure.
but
It's hard to keep up.
and
Some of these things. Yeah.
it's around Easter, and like it seems to be like a giant shift. Easter next year. Is that what you're talking about?
Interesting. No, but I'm going to be surprised. It's part of the palette. I mean, next year looks really wonky. Period. But our company, we're, as far as our deadline, we're trying to have everything in the stores for sale by February because it looks like shift's going to hit the fan, and we're going to make some gloves, water kits. We're not sure, but we feel like there's going to be a shift there. I think the Palladians also say, my friend who channels Palladians, they say this is the energy wars, the frequency wars. And so basically there's two dominating frequencies. So to go to your point, there's a frequency that wants to go to 5. They want the frequency to be 5, and there's people that want the frequency to be 3, And so we're literally got our hands on the thermostat fighting as a society. No, turn it up, turn it down. And then apparently it'll be like a year and a half of trying to convince each other to go to our frequency, and I'm thinking to myself, I don't know if I want to convince. I'm just going to, I'm just gonna be over here. I'm just gonna be so cool in the shade. You're gonna want it, but
Yeah.
so apparently that starts like in February, which makes sense because February is Aquarius, and and Pluto's in Aquarius direct. There's just a lot of signs that show it. And what I'm guessing is just some really, what does this mean practically, literally? I have a feeling we're gonna wake up and we're like, are we in a dream? Like this is just. I think we're just gonna be realizing a lot of things. And I think things will come out. I think there's a lot of realizations to come out. And I'll just go down this. Go ahead.
Doesn't it feel like our sense of reality has been like poked, like holes have been poked into it? Like, I don't know how about you, but my sense of like, like how, I don't know, like it's way more. Oh, well, I guess I could have explained it before, where it's more of a simulation, or it's not, and it's so in flux all the time, and so and immutable. Yeah, that it's a complete relationship to reality that I have. It kind of makes me feel like, yeah, just like being in my own kind of spaceship bubble and like experiencing the things that I need to experience. Yeah.
I'll just go in a minute. It's like I'm on drugs, but I'm not. It's like to me, it's like I've tried LSD, I've tried mushroom stuff, and it's not full on. It's just a very subtle, like microdosing or something. It's like, but just every now and then, did that wall just move in and move out? Like I swear to God, like little things like that. I've had a couple of people who've been agreeing. It feels like for some reason, it feels like there's someone right here all the time. There's always someone right here all the time. Now maybe that's me just becoming aware that it always has been. I'm getting goosebumps saying that. But I had a couple. I was at like a dinner party, and the women were like, I don't know. It sounds crazy, but it feels like there's someone over here all the time. I'm like, oh my God, I've had the same thing. Wow. So yeah, I see the cracks. There's definitely cracks happening, and moments where it's just like I guess I realize I'm in the video game, and then I forget I'm in the video game, and then I realize I'm in it, and then I guess we're coming out, or like popping out of an egg, kind of being born. It's definitely interesting. It's definitely interesting. So I think what's interesting is next year the Palladians say, according to Wendy Kennedy, who channels them, and that they've given our government 50 years to tell the people they exist. They've been very polite about it, and apparently the deadline is like this year, and our government's being stubborn and not doing it. And so the Palladians are like, all right, we're gonna come fly down and bomb you, like not bomb you, but we're gonna straight across the skies, we're gonna freak your shit out, we're gonna land and say hi. But the thing is I had the realization, it's like, why does the government keep it a secret? Because I think the aliens are gonna be like, you guys know we've already solved energy healing. We gave all this stuff to your government. I don't know why they're keeping it from you. Like, I think it's gonna be a real reveal to the government, like they've been screwing us, with simple stuff like technology and whatnot. That's probably why we're keeping a lid on it. But so I think something major like that's gonna happen next year. Something that just like, Jesus comes back and says hi. I don't know.
Right.
Something like that.
Wow. Great. I mean, yeah, I think you're right. Like, because if there's free energy, and it would dismantle the whole like petrochemical, like military complex, because it's all built on oil and that economy and stuff. I mean, everybody free energy, that would be like fucking amazing, Like,
yes, actually, it's popping up. I was watching another astrologer, and I won't say her name because she doesn't say other names of astrologers. But basically, she was saying that there's already examples, like some village in Africa has already learned how to do free energy off of like some water fountain plants or something. Like, so it's coming. It's like it's coming up. They're not going to keep a lid on now. Like little kids are figuring out how to do free energy. So it's like it's just going to burst out, and we're all going to unplug and say "f you." So that's a huge one. And so that's the thing. There's many profound, like if we have free energy, just what does that do? I mean, people can live in the desert. People live anywhere they want. And so a Tesla will always keep running. I mean, like it's a big thing. So things like that, aliens. We're just on the precipice of a lot of things, including, I think, cancer. I think I'm convinced in my heart we have a cure to cancer. I think it's the industrial oncology. As far as industry, as far as I'm concerned, that's overgrown itself to make money off of people dying of cancer. I think that's something that's going to crack any second now. And people, more and more people I know are saying no to treatment. And surviving. I'm saying when I'm seeing people, I mean, I'm sure YouTube's going to turn me off any second now. And they do, they're only affirming that I'm right. So, but it's like, that's kind of, that's also another thing. A lot of lies.
Hmm.
Or, to make money and whatnot and not caring about people.
Exciting times.
It really is. I mean, it is, get your popcorn, or whatever it's going to be. I know a lot of people who are here want to be here for this. And a lot of people too. There's a lot of people dying.
Yes.
I mean, there's a lot of people dying. I mean, it's not like, oh, and that's always the case. It's just your imagination because you're paying more attention. No, dude, go look at it. It's hard to buy a plot. Like, run out of space. And I feel, people are sad about that and whatnot. And I say to them, that was a choice. There is no accidental anything. I know what it is. They don't want to, it's like a lot of work. They're like, fuck this, reboot it. I mean, just bring me back in once, reset the program. But there's also a tremendous amount of increasing death is happening. People are just, getting cancer again, second and third, out of remission and back into they call it turbo cancer. You had talked about, clients who have spiritual paralysis. They're kind of stuck in a certain syndrome. You're saying, you remember that?
No.
That basically spiritual paralysis. They get stuck in old patterns. And they get stuck in these patterns, and that keeps them from awakening. That they're kind of stuck in that pattern. Do you recall that? Yeah. And I'm trying to get more light to what that is.
I'm sorry.
I'm trying to get more light to what you meant by that with spiritual paralysis. It's like,
I
think we're quoting you.
Make it up on the spot, but I mean, what it refers to, I think, was when people are stuck in patterns of overgiving. Because then, if you've learned to overgive as a way to stay safe on the planet or to gain validation or acknowledgement or, to just be safe, then, that's a very powerful dynamic to keep yourself safe. So it can be really hard to then make the opposite move by really being there for yourself or really focusing on yourself and loving yourself. So, if that's part of a person's makeup and they've never really checked in with themselves, then doing the work can be hard because I'm basically taking them to a place that they're not even familiar with from like a feeling perspective. And they don't know the value of it because their value came from accommodating external determinants of value or being good enough or being safe. I imagine I might have talked about that, like in terms of spiritual paralysis, but correct me if I'm wrong.
No worries. Well, we're going to take a commercial. We're going to come back and show that clip and show how wrong you were. No, I'm kidding. We didn't take a commercial. We'll be right back after this break, guys. Sorry about that.
This Scorpio season, embark on a journey of self-discovery. Create your soul manifesto. Unveil your purpose. Live your truth. Welcome to 40 Days of My Truth and Purpose. Enrolling now, only at Sirius Joy Academy.
Good music is, and like that's what nostalgia part is, because it takes you to this like sublime place, and it just makes you feel like life makes perfect sense. it just makes you feel like
Hi, I'm Lisa Brazelton, the architect of the Chamber of Wealth Consciousness program and the founder of Sage Prosperity Partners. Are you ready to break free from old money stories and belief systems? This fall, there are 2 cohorts which I will be facilitating, and I would love for you to join me. In this program, I will help you open up the light of divine prosperity. There are limited spaces available. You can see the link below, and Serious Joy members will receive a discount. I look forward to seeing you.
I love that. We're having commercials. These are all from our community. These commercials are coming in, which is really cool to see, like people, practitioners. Isn't that cool?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess, so I agree with you. I want to bring back the spiritual paralysis because, that's maybe a dramatic word, that's probably the trigger there, but ultimately people are so used to what they're used to, in that sense of being fed by what they're fed by, that they just won't get off the nipple. They just, it's like an obsession, to keep on that path. And you actually just now saying it's like people who give too much. I think I'm one of those people. I've had some weird stuff coming up lately with theft. And I think I'm being stolen from because I think it's like some sort of symbolic, like twisted way of me saying, I keep giving away your money. You're giving it all away. You might as well just have it taken from you, kind of thing. You may realize that just now because I've been an overgiver. It's always been my little, I don't know, from grandma, even grandma time. I'm sorry, grandma, but you were too, but we all, I see that kind of thing. And exactly. Because it makes you feel good, makes them feel good. These kind of weird habits that we developed over the dark ages.
Yeah.
To survive.
I don't know about you, but like me, I felt like such a weirdo freak growing up that, in order to try and feel safe within social environments, I was always like people pleasing to kind of make myself worthy of being treated with kindness, or at least, not to receive any violence or, criticism. That was my sort of coping mechanism with feeling so weird and different.
Mine too. And I moved every 2 years because my dad moved. So I was always a stranger. So being funny, being entertaining, just it's what I did to calm my own nerves. My nerves needed an outlet. I was nervous. And so I needed something to do. And so I would just take care of people. And here I am, and they create a company that does the same thing. It's like, but we're learning. We're all learning. I think we're learning to pull back. And that's part of the way. I think light workers around the world are learning to pull back.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just in the last year I've seen it. We have Unite the Light that we do once a year. And we're talking about it, but we're realizing we're contributing by overgiving. Like we need to and we're also hurting by overgiving, So, even the light workers were asleep, it's interesting. What do you see? So, okay, I'm wondering if you have an opinion about what's about to happen. I mean, we're talking about it, joking just now and not joking about the light and all types of things. And, but you agree. I mean, as you put your third eye out there, something's about to happen, right? Something's about to happen. You can feel it. Can we talk about it?
Yes. I mean, it's. I feel like it's going haywire.
Do you think it's gonna be out of control, or do you think it's just gonna be this big fireworks display when it's over? We'll be like, woo, woo.
I mean, my sense of it. I mean, I've never been asked this before, but I'm kind of like forming words about what I'm feeling. I feel like it's like a form of like reality unraveling, or many different realities being it could be through like first contact, or I mean there has been contact for a long time, but like obvious contact, or where like the securities that we've been sort of coasting on are are not there anymore. So
yes.
Yeah, and I feel like it's kind of like pushing us back into ourselves and to community and relationship with others as well. That's kind of, and I don't know what that looks like, if that is a psychological process or, a big sort of external event.
The external event, he's gone. We'll see if he comes back. I was going to share with them next a story I have where I've been on a few things. Like for instance, I've gone on like a good example is like a film shoot. Because I worked on film and TV when I was younger in college, and you volunteer on films, and you try to get hired on films, and so what happens is you get on this film, and the thing about a film is like it's tied to an artist, and so okay, I was just telling a story. You're back.
Okay.
So how was Pluto? What did they say? Oh, we get the weird sound thing. Okay, wow.
Let me leave it back.
Okay, go ahead. Okay, no problem. So I was telling the story. So anyways, there's been times where you get on this film and you realize, oh my God, this is a kind of destiny, because everyone on the film, everyone on the set and crew, between takes and stuff, they're all super cool with each other, start becoming friends. They're all into aliens. They're all in the same thing. And you're like, whoa, this is a weird cosmic experience. I've never been around so many people I like before, and they're all excited. And by the way, when you're on a set like that, you go, this film's going to be a hit. It's going to be a hit, because when you have this like amazing, connection between the people, there's, it's faded. There's something really there. But usually what happens is, I'm telling a story about working on a film together. I've been on projects before where it's everyone on the project, like a temporary project, like a film, because I used to do TV film. I would volunteer, be a PA. And sometimes you'd be on a film where it's like everyone on the film seems to like know each other, get along super well. And you suddenly you become this different reality in the world. It's like you go back home that night and you're like, oh, I don't fit in my reality anymore. Film has made me see life differently. And I was telling them that usually those films are the successful ones. So whenever you had that weird cosmic feeling where you're like, I'm not in Kansas anymore, that film just like takes off. And so it's like you're part of a vortex, you're part of something really magical. But I know that in those types of films, you're never the same after that. Like it changed you forever. And then 5 years later, you like run into the same people in the crew, and you're like, oh my God, have you changed again since we saw each other? And you looking back, it's like nothing ever like that. So I bring it as a parallel. It's like we're all about to go on this adventure together. It feels like, much like my grandpa going to World War II. That was their,
thing.
That changed everything. I mean, the whole world was never the same.
Right.
Never the same. Never. In my grandpa's place, like he was never happy at that point. He went internal. Like, grandma then, she wasn't getting much loving from him anymore. She's like, what the hell happened over there? Everyone just kind of got weird. And then, of course, the baby boomers are born in that weird energy. So, yeah. Now he's in another dimension. Okay. Well, folks, we are trying to keep this connection. But when you have a guy who's vibrating like him, it's just the way it is. We've had a lot of weird. I will say there's been a lot of weird. Okay. And he's back.
My God. So weird. I don't know what's going on.
I don't know. You just pull back the energy, man. You're powerful, and you're messing with the equipment. No. Well, I think we're getting close to time too. But the point is that I think whatever that is, I feel that something's about to happen. I used to worry about it. Now I don't feel I'm like, I'll be fine. My soul knows I'll be fine.
I used to worry about it as well. I mean, this is when I first started sort of finding out about this kind of information in the late 90s. It would freak me fuck out, because
me too.
What's going to happen? Are we going to be safe? Is my cat going to be safe? My loved ones, my family? And now, I mean, I don't, whatever. I know that life is going to continue for all of us. Even if we choose to check out, it's going to be okay. It's like, we're all souls on our journey, and it's like a big experiment that we're in right now. Yeah. So, I mean, yes, I do have that sort of view on it, but I also go through my own fears are surfacing now, like the ones that I haven't touched on yet, or that there's more to be dealt with. Right. I do feel those things. So they're coming to the surface. It's kind of like an up-leveling and a purging of these like lower frequencies that I don't need to hold on to anymore.
You know what? For me, it's like, there's just, I don't know. I was worried about being a bad person. I was worried about this. I was worried about all these things about not being enough, I just wasn't enough or whatever. And now I'm just like, that's silly. That's silly. Yeah. Like it's just suddenly silly, and I was like, the whole fun. And then I'm like, Jesus, the whole time I was waiting. Why? That was so crazy. It's almost like you wake up and like you're in a dream and you're like, oh, you're in God's hand. You're like, oh, holy shit, this is what reality, you're gonna wake up to like the reality's not what you think it is. My thought is always that like, I'm gonna wake up one day like out of a drug, like I've been on a drug trip or something, and you realize, oh, I'm God. I wonder if God just did like some inhalant, and this is all just his like visuals. You're his visualization. Here's his waves, and as soon as he comes to again, he's God, and he does it again. That's Big Bang. I think he's just basically doing inhalants. Do you have any? Right, go ahead.
I wonder if that's like the photon melt, that you described earlier.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the inhalant.
That we're all doing inhalants. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we are getting high. They say I've heard through psychics and stuff that the pyramids got everybody high. That apparently when they were plugged in, they were working. They glowed at night, so the whole damn town glowed like the moon was full.
Yeah, heard that
And
too.
secondly, everyone was stoned all the time, like they were all high because it was putting off some sort of energy, and people were hanging out next to the pyramids and just chilling. Like apparently, just putting out this good vibration that's getting everyone stoned.
Yeah,
Very interesting. Turn those things back on, man.
I love hearing that because I have people that go into past lives in Egypt and they tell me that the pyramids were shiny on the outside, like the cover was like polished stone or some other.
Yeah, like polished marble.
Yeah, and it was done because it would reflect. You could see it from like very far away.
Yeah, like a lighthouse beyond measure.
They were charged with energy codes that were very like high, and it helped people like maybe. I mean, I haven't heard the high, but I can imagine that if there's like energy codes in there, affecting people, right? And that there were communication devices with our ETs.
I've heard that too.
Family members.
The King's Chamber allegedly is a portal. You go lay down there. Apparently, you go. That was what rising from the dead 3 days later. That's where the whole story came from. You go into this. You go into the King's Chamber, and there's a we're calling it a sarcophagus or whatever it's called, but it's not. Apparently, it was like a stone thing that you lay in, and apparently, as you meditate, your soul is taken to Orion.
I've heard that in sessions.
Yes, your soul's just taken, and so you go spend like 3 days on Orion, 3 Earth days. And you come back, and I don't know if it's the same time difference or whatever, but apparently Yeshua did this. Apparently Jesus did this. There's rumor that Jesus, he was gone for a long time. Even Mary Magdalene was like, he was gone for a long time. I mean, she was like, we're giving up on him. Like they should give it up. She said in the story. I was like, damn, but he was. I mean, apparently he's doing all this stuff. He's cosmic. He's smoking pot with Buddha, things like that. But going to Orion was one of them apparently, and that you could do that. The special people who are ready to handle the reality of teleporting. So apparently, a couple of those pyramids are actually portals to where they're pointing to the star they're pointing to.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I've heard too.
Yeah, massing up the Earth, using the Earth's energy to like propel it or something. Yeah.
Isn't that amazing that this knowledge is coming through different sources and it's congruent? I mean, it's so beautiful.
I know. The fact that you and I have different lives and we're hearing the same rumors.
It's like a whole different reality that is starting to take shape.
It is.
Yeah. It's really
us humans, us humans, like if we heard it's a rumor, then it must be true. So it doesn't matter if it's true or not. We're going to make it that way. But you're right. I will hear stuff. Like I'll hear stuff and I'll run into a person like you and I'll throw it by you and you're like, I heard the same thing. It's like the collective is all collectively remembering is a lot of it. And I personally feel, and we'll end on this note, I personally feel that there's one more karmic note to play. And that's Atlantis. We have not faced our karma and trauma. One, for the ones who destroyed it, which was a conscious human thing they did and screwed up, and those of us who had it taken from us. I think every time we fear about a nuclear war, we're really afraid of Atlantis. We know it happened once and it can happen again, and that's why we're nervous. And because it was interrupted, from my understanding of karma, like the circle didn't get played out. So it never had a chance for the good guys to become the bad guys and the bad guys to become the good guys. Never had a chance to do that. So the good guys are back as the good guys and the bad guys are back as the bad guys. And apparently that's what a lot of this is that same subconscious fight for control of the earth.
I've encountered that too.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. And America was covered with ice during Atlantis. It was an ice sheet across the whole America. It was unlivable. Atlantis was like just off the coast of Cuba, right there in the mid warm parts of the equator. And so a point being, Atlantis always had the idea that when that melts, they're going to take that land. And so, what does America do? Like, what is America? I think to some degree, America's like, it's ours, like they took it, and that was the thing. There was this desire for that ice to melt. And apparently there's a lot of science, like they're going to have crystals, like melt the ice, but then they're afraid they're going to, kill themselves. But that was the thing. They were amassing tremendous amounts of energy, taking the Earth's energy and then like, I guess, speeding it up through crystals and then, shooting it over at Lemuria and killing them, or, sending sound waves that like killed everybody in a village over in Cuba. They were doing crazy stuff. And yeah, they thought they could melt the ice sheet over, over the United States or North America. Right. But they ended up, blowing themselves up anyway. So, that's it. So apparently, I wonder what that'll mean. And That means that, I don't know, be interesting to see what happens next.
So many layers like packed into this experience, isn't there?
Yeah. We're not young chickens, like you can see in an astrology chart if people were here in Atlantis or not. I'll
Oh,
tell
you
you
can?
this. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It has to do with the fact that the Aquarius energy itself, Aquarius has been asleep. It's been asleep since Atlantis. It's like we're out, we're out here and all those like layers of vibration stopped vibrating and just got cold. I think like froze in like energetic ice. And so we have all right now in this last year, we have a lot of souls who are born with all this ability in the high degrees of Aquarius, like Saturn way high up in Aquarius and Uranus. And so like we haven't had the opportunity to get good at this since Atlantis. Like, so if you come and you have high, slow planets in the high degrees of Aquarius, you are sleeping knowledge. You have a sleeping data bank of the whole life, and you're, Pluto is now moving itself up. Pluto's basically the big, is melting all the ice. It goes direct next week, and so it starts melting the ice again, and that means we start waking up. So what happens is it kills off the bottom, and that kills off the bottom, frees the top. So it moves forward. So I think another reason why we're having these memories opening. It's cool.
Wow. That's so cool. Yeah, I know like the basics about astrology, but I had no idea you could see that in a chart if people have been in Atlantis. It is so cool.
Or Lemuria, both, you can tell.
Lemuria
because actually if it's Lemuria, they have damage from Atlantis. So all their dark Black Moon, Lilith, Chiron, these high degrees of Aquarius. So it's like you were hurt by this. Yeah, you're Lemurian. You were the ones attacked. So but and this we'll see this for the next one. But I'll tell you the rumor. The rumor is that it wasn't even humans' fault. It was that there was an alien species that wanted the land, wanted Earth.
That's been coming in too. Yeah.
Yes. And this alien species started like manipulating our leaders. And apparently our leaders had never felt like a thrill from darkness before. Atlantis was pure virgin. And so, they started to get off on the pleasure of hurting, and they started to get off on the pleasure of pain. And the pain pleasure thing started to get, twisted. And so the people who were leaders, they became addicted to this twisted pain pleasure thing. And they just became obsessed and secretly hurting people, nations, other things. Well, the people of the land didn't know that. It's almost like the Nazis who got off on torture. Same kind of person.
I've heard it described as like people becoming acquainted with kind of getting drunk on power. That's what I heard. Yeah.
Precisely. Well, they've never been drunk on power before. They've been drunk on power. They've been drunk on being, I'm the winner, you're the loser. Ha! There's never that. There's no ego. You just couldn't get off on your ego because apparently Atlantis was birthed perfectly by the angels, like birthed perfectly, created perfectly, in a perfect society. And then when it fell, and I think the two takeaways were the aliens are like, okay, that's it. We're not giving away technology again. That fucked up. And the angels are like, you bitches are going to learn from the top. We're not giving you, we're not going to put you straight into college. You got to start at kindergarten. Like, so it changed the way the whole architecture of our incarnation happened on Earth, because apparently they were going to start perfect, and they realized that that's not going to work. Because obviously they don't appreciate those little punks. And so here we are. Yeah. That's Metatron being all grouchy. Well, we're a little over time, but it's good times. Where can people work with you, man?
So yeah, I'm based in Los Angeles. I'm in the San Fernando Valley. This is where I do my sessions. I do group sessions online. I'm actually offering for a very discounted rate to all the listeners of Astro Mingle. I think you guys are putting the link in the box to do a group regression. I think it's in 1 or 2 weeks.
Group regression.
I do those like regularly. Those can be done virtually, so I do them at least once a month. Yeah, if you want to work with me in person, please come to Los Angeles. I sometimes do residencies in different places. Check my website. I'm doing one in your area. It's Jeroen QHHT. I think it must be in the show notes too. So yeah, if you want to do a deep dive into your own soul's history and recover some of your true origin and your authenticity and who you came here to be, then I would love to work with you. 19 years of experience. I bring a lot to this work, and it's so exciting to do this work every day.
This is my 19th year.
Really?
Yes, next year's my 20th.
That's amazing. Same for me.
Wow, that's crazy. And the link is over his head, by the way, guys. It's just over his head if you want the box.
Cool.
And I'm wondering, what was it? Now, see, I want to talk more. The group. So you do a group regression. So does everyone go to sleep and they realize they're on the Titanic or something? Like, oh my God! Like, is there like a realization?
Everybody has their own experience. Yes. So depending if it's going to be to an alien life or an Earth life, but everybody has their own experience. Yeah, it's a like 75-minute process. It's really fun.
Wow. This is the Disneyland of the future right here. Well, thank you
Right?
so much. Yeah, totally. I mean, like, I think it's gonna be. I think some people are gonna merge with the machine and they're like, get off on Google in their brain. And I think some of us are gonna like go out to ancient lands and fly around.
It's
That'll be it.
possible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's possible. There's a lot of great stuff out there. Well, it's always so nice to see you, dude. I live close to you. I'm in Palm Springs. So I gotta drive out there and say hi to you.
What was that?
Say hi. I live in Palm Springs. I should come out and say hi.
Oh my God, I'm there all the time. Yes, I come say hi. Yes.
Okay, good. Then let's get some. We'll trade after this. Stay backstage and we'll trade phone numbers. Make sure we got it. So I'll text you next time I'm in town.
Okay, fun.
Because I get
All
bored
right,
of Palm Springs. You probably get bored of LA. So yeah, we'll hang out.
Thank you for me today.
Thank you for coming, dude. It's a great time. Great time. You
Bye,
can't
everyone.
gossip with this like this. You can't gossip like this with anyone but a guy like Tim, right? That's the cool thing. And for me, this job, oh God, for so many years, this shit's just in my head. I can't tell anybody. And you keep it to yourself, and you just keep it to yourself. I'll tell you, the most fun part about Ascension is that everyone's starting to talk about their stories, and finally we have stuff to trade, just something to talk about. It's nice. Other than same old. So, folks, this is going to be where we're going to mingle. And, we do feel like the shift's going to hit the fan. We do at Serious Joy. So if you want to have someone hang out with you, come to seriousjoy.com for $3.99. And we're adding features on, and we're helping you understand who you are. And, you don't have to be alone. You have to do it alone. We're always with you at Serious Joy. We always are with you. We're always sending you messages. And, you need someone to talk to so you don't feel crazy, because it's going to open up. And if it's not you, tell your friend or family. It's time to do it. It's time to come together. All right, friends, I want to say thank you to our crew, and I'm going a little over tea tonight, and everyone who's been a part of it, and of course, Jeroen. And we'll see you next week with some more Mingle. Until then, we love you. Live, love, be.
Coming up next week on Serious Joy TV. Catch Leading Out Loud on Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. Join the motley crew of Sensei Christopher and psychic medium Scott Cruz for a convo about conflict without the casualties. Then join us for Astro Mingle on Friday night for another illuminating conversation. Who will be sitting on the spiritual couch with Sensei? We're going to let this one be a surprise. The best in enlightened entertainment.